Hi guys, I'm back. I know that I was gone for a little bit. I took the week off to go, I went to visit a friend in Germany. But I'm back now and I'm ready to get started. I hope you guys are ready. Today we're going to be making a baby blanket. And so I'm going to quickly do my shares and then we will get going, okay? So I hope that Facebook is not being too cranky today. I'm having a hard time getting things to load. Okay, here we go. And yeah, I'm excited to be back. I hope you guys are excited too. I hope you guys are still around, even though I haven't been on for a little bit. So I know it'll take a little minute for everybody to get on. Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Elaine. So sorry if I'm off today. Got to get back in the groove of this stuff, guys. Oops. Okay. Okay. So, Elaine, my trip was really, really good. We had such a good time. We did a lot of sightseeing but also a lot of relaxing. So that was kind of fun. Just drank good coffee and had pastries and, yeah, it was really good. So, I'm almost done with this sharing here. It's nice to be back. I like crashed out so hard last night. It had been like over 36 hours since I actually slept. So it was nice to get back and get in some rest. So there we go. So thank you, Alyssa. So today we are going to be making two. I'm actually going to do two just to show you how quick and easy they are, because I think one would just be a really short video, and so I wanted to we'll make two really quickly, and then okay, it's shared there, got it there. Okay, let me just one more place and then I'll be ready. So we're gonna make two baby blankets, and they're each gonna have I know, right? I definitely need a vacation. They're each going to have a sorry, hold on. They're each going to be with different fabric. I'm going to make two different fabrics. So the first one, we're going to use Minky and like a jersey knit. And then the second one, we're going to do flannel and cotton. They're made exactly the same way, but I mean, I think sometimes Minky can be a little bit intimidating, but it doesn't need to be. So, oh, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, make sure you share this, you guys, so you can find it later, and your friends can find it. They can join us. If you have somebody who you want to make baby blankets for you, share it so they can find it. You could tag them and be like, hey, this is awesome. Maybe you should make my kids some blankets. So, oh, thanks, Karen. That's so sweet. So, okay, let's get started. I've already cut 3 of the fabrics, but I just wanted to, we'll do one of them together. I haven't actually, it's really bright over here, so I'm just going to talk to you from here. So you want to, for the fleece and the jersey, and so here's our jersey. This is like a jersey, stretchy jersey knit. You're going to want to make sure you press it before you cut, and then we're going to use this fleece as well and press. It should all be pressed. The cotton you want to definitely press. And then Minky, it depends on the Minky, but I don't usually press Minky. You can just steam it with, put your iron a little bit close and do like hot steam, and then kind of like, do the seams. Or you could, if it doesn't have the raised dots, you could do like a towel and then steam, and then iron on a not too hot setting. I don't like to iron Minky. It's just, but this one doesn't have the raised dots. This has just got, hi Elizabeth. This is just really, really, really smooth. Okay. So really quickly, you're just going to make sure you press, I'm going to press my cotton, and these can be any size you want, but I'm making them today at 36 inches by 36 inches. And one reason I really like that is because 36 inches is exactly a yard. So all you need is 2 yards of fabric. And most fabrics are like 40, in the 40s for the other measurement. So you'll have plenty. 1 yard of fabric will get you, well, 2 yards, one of each of 2 yards. One of each of 2 fabrics. Bleh. The brain's not quite caught up yet. Will get you a blanket. So you don't need a ton, and it's a fairly cheap thing to make someone. Minky's a little bit pricier, but it's still, you can get it when you have a coupon at Joann's or wherever you get your fabrics from. Okay, I got one more. I'm just pressing my cotton. I was running so behind. I'm not back in the swing of it yet, so I was going to have this done, but I didn't. So, but then I'm like, I got to be on because I don't want people to think I'm missing today. So, okay, just making sure I'm not missing any comments. So, did everybody have a good Halloween? My little guys had so much fun. We dressed up. We kind of had a family theme. I got back yesterday at 4 o'clock, and then immediately when I got home, we put our costumes on and ran out the door to trick or treat. So, like my plane landed at 4 o'clock. So we ran out the door to go trick or treating, and they had a blast. So, okay, so I've pressed my cotton here. Hi Misty, how are you? Pressed my cotton. This is just a gray. This is actually Art Gallery fabrics. So I've pressed it, and when I cut stuff like this, I like to make a smaller cut. So I'm going to fold it into 4s, so it's folded over twice. And then if you do that, I'm just going to line up the fold line with so all my fabric should be lined up real straight here on top, and then we'll just cut it. So I'm going to just scooch you back real quick. Like I said, I've already cut all these ones. And my Minky. Just going to cut this cotton one. And then, so the other nice thing about, I was talking about the 36 inches. The other nice thing about the 36 inches, let me see if I can get this down so you can see, is that this mat is 36 inches long. So you don't have to like measure and then move. No, what I do is I leave a tiny bit off the edge here, and then I cut here on this side. So a tiny bit's off. I'm just going to line my fabric up with a line. So the folds, both folds are here at the top lined up. And then I'm just going to cut at the very last marking here. So our finished blanket will be more like 35 instead of 36, but I'm okay with that. And then I'm just going to trim it off. And then I'm going to pull this over here. Hi there, Jerry and Jennifer. How are you guys? So glad you found me. This month we're doing all handmade gifts. So this first one we're doing is like a snuggle blanket, because you can make it a little bigger. It doesn't have to be for a baby. You can make it a little bigger and use it for yourself. Or heck, I even use this one that's somewhat kind of similar to this size and just put it on my feet on the couch. Okay, so I've got this. We've got this one to 36 inches, so it's 36 inches this way. I'm just gonna open it up and then fold it in half the other way. So now I've got these 2 straight lines, and I'm gonna line them up with each other. So that's how I'm gonna make sure everything stays square and straight, is I'm gonna make sure that this line, the 2 that I just cut, are really straight with it, straight in line. Just kind of push everything to the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same. Yep, you can use these for cats or dogs, or I've got my, really for anything. Put it in the bunny cage, make it a little smaller and put it in the bunny cage, wherever you want. I mean, these are just really versatile. So I'm just leaving a little bit off of this edge, and I'm going to cut this one. Hello, Marie. I'm going to line it up with one of the lines, and I'm going to cut over here. So I have a few ideas for what we're going to be making for the rest of the month, but as always, I'm open to ideas and suggestions. So whatever, if there's something you really want to make, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to accommodate. Like, I want to make what you want to know how to make, right? So this isn't about me. I already know how to make these things for the most part, or can figure it out. Just trim off this last edge. And you guys, I got my Sew sampler box while I was gone. I still haven't had a chance to open it, but I'm going to do that. I don't know if you still want a reveal, because you probably already got yours if you had them. Okay, so now we've got our square. This is our 36 by 36 inch square. So really the key, these are like the simplest things, you guys. So that's why we're making two, just because I really wanted to just make two. So you could totally use your clips, Wonder Clips for this, but I don't have enough. So that's why I'm going to use pins, because I don't have enough Wonder Clips to make these. But for the cotton, so I'm putting my cotton with my fleece. So we'll start there. For the cotton and fleece, my cotton's face up. My fleece I've already cut to the same size. Face down. And this doesn't have any batting or anything, so if you want it to be extra warm, you could put a batting layer in here, iron on some fusible fleece. That would be fine. And then I'm just gonna, it's easier to just kind of shake it out. Make sure everything's lined up. So then we're gonna line up our 4 edges, and we're just gonna leave ourselves a good, 10-inch chunk here in the middle where we're not gonna sew. So I'm gonna mark that off. I'm not gonna sew, can you see? Right here and here. I think we can move so we're not facing the light this time. I think I can do this part sitting down so you can actually see a little bit better. So, okay. So you can see I've got a pin here and I've got a pin here. So my 2 pins are here. I'm just going to leave that spot open. Then I'm going to pin as much or as little as you want. For this one, it's not as crucial. So that's the question, isn't it, Debbie? Do they have to be pre-washed? None of these have been pre-washed, but you can if you'd like. I've never had a problem not pre-washing something. Like, if I don't wash it, I mean, because I rarely wash, it seems to work out just fine. You're totally welcome to if you want to, but no, I don't think they have to be. If you want a straight answer, do they have to be pre-washed? No, they don't have to be. So I've just turned, I've got, and I'm just putting a few in because this is fleece and cotton, so it's not going to move too much. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. $25 for a yard of fabric. Yes, we are definitely spoiled with our fabric here for sure. So I'm just putting a few in. Yep, I know lots of people wash them, and I think that's great. It's really just a lazy thing, I guess. I don't know. And I just hate, like, then you have to press so much. There's so much pressing when you wash stuff. It has to be pressed like crazy. Okay, so I'm just adding a few. I'm going to finish the thought I was trying to finish. I'm just adding a few to each side because this cotton and fleece is not really going to move. So I'm just making sure the edges line up for how I want them to. So just a few pins is plenty. And then just pinning it in place, okay? And then I'm also going to go back because I didn't add very many pins. And I'm just going to stick some pins sideways here. So I know this is not where I want to sew. Don't sew here. Okay? Then I'm going to set this one aside. Because the one that really is an issue, so that's going to come together pretty easily, and it's not, those fabrics are not going to move too much, just a little bit, but so you don't need as many pins. this is, oh, my extra. That's not what I want. Here we go. So, here's the deal on this. This is just, I think I picked this up at Joann's. Like I said before, I don't have enough clips, so that's why I'm not clipping. You could totally clip. I don't have enough clips to get both of these done. So that's why I'm using pins. So this is just extra. This is Minky that I picked up at Joann's. I just loved it. It's got these really cute animals. They're kind of muted and hard to see, but you can see right here there's like a flamingo. There's a rhino right here. I mean, it's super cute. I just love it. And it's super soft. You know, I love that soft fabric. Okay. And this is actually a fabric that I created on Spoonflower by just uploading a file that I happen to have. So that's where this one came from. You can't get it because I made it myself and I didn't like it. It's not for sale on there or anything. I just was playing around, checking out what it was like to create fabric on Spoonflower. So this is going to be the same thing. We're just going to line up, and if there's a top, like this is the top, I mean, there's not really a top to my Minky. The animals all kind of go in the same direction. So, there we go. So I have them facing up so that these will both be, this will be the right way up. All right. But it's not, especially if you're using a Minky that doesn't have anything, a direction, or a knit that doesn't have a direction, then it's not a big deal. Okay. So for Minky and Jersey, they both like to move. They're both wiggly, obnoxious fabrics, okay? Which is why I don't use them very much. I just pin the crap out of it, basically. So I'm just gonna pin one. Thanks for being here, Barb. I'm gonna start on one side, and I'm just gonna make sure everything lines up. It's probably better. Well, I know it's better. It's definitely better. I'm just gonna lay everything out flat. Stay. Okay. To just lay everything out on your board. Because Minky likes to move, man. It's a pain in my butt. It's a pain in my butt. So, I feel like, I don't know why. There should be the same size, but I feel like it's crooked that way. I'm going to turn it. There, that seems better. Does sit better. Okay, so find a spot where you can lay it out all the way flat. Let's be, yep, you have to pin, just pin, 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 never stop pinning. So I'm just going to lay it out flat and don't move it once you've got it where you want it. And then you can start pinning. So just kind of line everything up here. And then we're just gonna pin, and like the name went away, like you mentioned, I just pin very close together a lot. So lots and lots of pins, which is kind of a pain, but 1 inch maybe. I guess I'm doing more like 3 inches. I want you to be able to see, but I don't want to. Whoop, I'm at the end of my table, so let's see. Doesn't want to go. All right. Well, I'm just pinning close together. I'll show it to you in 1 second. Let me get some more pins in. And I'm not ignoring your comments. I just can't see right this moment. I've got all my projects, or most of my projects, are up on the blog or here on my Facebook page. So make sure that you turn on notifications so that you can find me when I go live. You can sign up for my newsletter if you like. What's under here? There we go. So I'm just pinning super close together, and I'll show you in 1 second. You just don't want it to move. Then the other thing that you're going to want to do is a walking foot is like not a suggestion. It's a must for both of these. For the jersey and the minky, you've got to have a walking foot. So make sure you have one of those first and foremost. That's going to be the most crucial thing, is to have a walking foot. Sorry, I can't see the comments because it's too far away. I will check them in a second. So make sure your walking foot is on your machine and ready to go. And then the thread, I've never thought too much about the thread. The thread, I usually just use my plain old cotton. Well, it's actually not cotton, it's like polyester. Just my standard. Right now I have a Gutermann, a polyester all-purpose Gutermann hanging out on my machine. So that's what we're going to use. It's off-white. So make sure everything's flat. Stays flat how you want it. And then just pin fairly close together. Clips would work too, but like I said, first of all, I don't have enough, and I just feel like some things like this, I want it to really hold together. So I'm pinning a lot. Guys, I meant to do my nails because I totally demolished them on the flight home. I picked all my nail polish, well, most of my nail polish off, but I just ran out of time. I was so tired yesterday. Flying takes a lot out of you. So, okay. One more side, and then we'll be ready. And you guys, so for the first time, something that I'm making, I'm actually going to put these both on Etsy, on my Etsy shop. So if you have to have these specific exact blankets, I will put them in my Etsy shop. In case you don't want to make your own, but you like these. I'm trying to, I'm kind of a hoarder, and so I've got way too many. Okay, I'm not really a hoarder, but I tend to just collect projects. Like, I make all this stuff and then it sits. So I'm figuring I'm making it. Somebody should use it. So I'm going to put it in my Etsy shop if anybody's interested. Okay, there we go. So, all right, so I'll show you. We've kind of, I'm trying not to make it too shaky, but see, I've got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of pins. So all the way along. It's not every inch, it's more like every 2.5, 3 inches. But I'm comfortable with that many. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me go back up here just to get back to my... I am in Illinois, but I don't do any personal like teaching. This is my teaching, so I teach here on Facebook. I have so many works in progress that that are sitting. A sewing retreat sounds super fun. I haven't ever thought about it, but I'm not opposed. But I don't know that I have time to. I don't know that I have time to plan something like that. So it's not in the cards at this moment. Okay, so I'm gonna throw one more in here because I don't. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to leave a spot here on this one that where I'm not gonna sew. So I'll just make it here, up here. So don't forget to mark a spot where you're not gonna sew. All right, so then we're ready for the first step of this one. So this one, we're gonna do this one first since it's got so many pins. Just be careful with all the pins. Make sure my sewing machine, okay, it's ready to go. Move you closer. Oh. Yeah, that's the other problem is, I don't know if there's enough people who are somewhat local to me who would be interested in doing a retreat. Okay, so let me make sure I've got everything here. Where's my bottom thread? There it is. Okay, so I've got my walking foot in. That's this guy. And that's what this is what mine looks like. Show you from the side, kind of. it's a big old funky thing. And the key is that it's got the feed dogs on the top of it, so that it moves the top fabric as well as the bottom fabric on with these feed dogs here. So you're basically moving both fabrics at the same time, because if you have just the bottom ones, the Minky's going to run and it's not going to feed nearly as well as the fabric on the bottom. And if you put it on the bottom, then the top it slips off. It's just not good. You want to make sure you have a walking foot so that you have the feed dogs on both sides. Okay, so this is my walking foot. Usually you can just Google, like go on Amazon and search whatever your machine is, Brother walking foot, and it'll pop up with the ones that will work for your machine. Okay, so this blanket, its finish is going to be about 35 by 35. So this is a good crib size, little one. This would be a good come on words, car seat, a good car seat to throw over them in the car seat or in the stroller. That's the word I was looking for, stroller. There it is. Okay, so now I'm just gonna make sure your walking foot's on, and I'm gonna put my needle more towards the middle. I'm okay with a little bit, not exactly using 1/4 of an inch. I just want it to be straight and for the fabric to feed evenly. So the only other thing with the walking foot, you can't back stitch, so you can't go back on yourself. So if you want to do that, you can sew a little bit and then flip the whole blanket around and sew a little bit more. But we're going to do a top stitch on this, so we don't need to back stitch right now. It's not a big deal. This is just going to be our opening where we turn it out anyways. So I'm using about 1/2 of an inch of a seam right here, and I'm just going to get going. Like I said, I'm using a plain polyester all-purpose thread, and this one doesn't matter because you're especially not going to see it. So, and as you go, where is it? Okay. Just make sure you pull the pins. You shouldn't sew over your pins. So that's the other thing. Other reason people don't like them is because you have to pull them and they'll mess with your machine. Sorry, it's like getting more. I didn't think it was possible to get more cloudy today. I haven't seen the sun yet, but it's getting darker. I don't know if we're getting... Good morning, Dad. This machine, my machine is a Brother. It's just the basic, super newbie Brother. The XL 3750. It's an older model that I got like 10 years ago. Hi, Kim. So I've got one side in. I'm just going to turn it and keep going on down the side. And you can see it really helps that walking foot really helps to keep everything nice and straight and even. I always end up poking myself like a lot when I do that. So let me just pull all these pins. You don't have to pull them if you put them far enough back that you that they won't go under the needle. Ow, poked myself. Alright. One more. Well, two more. Sorry, not one more. You guys can see all right? It's just I feel like it's just getting darker, like the end is near. My jersey's not quite lined up, so if that's okay. If you notice, it looks off as it's going. That's why. I really like this technique because it's really just straight lines. The Minky can be scary, but it's really not. Good morning, Lisa. As long as you handle it correctly and use the right tools, the Minky's really fine. It really is. It's not that difficult. Yep, this is a yard per print, and then I've trimmed it to 36. But you could do just a yard and a yard. You could totally just throw a yard and a yard together and not cut it at all. If I maybe have done that quite a few dozen times because I'm lazy and I don't like to cut. Just straighten off the edges and then stick them together. So you could trim it up to 36 if you want it to be a square, or, you know, a 36 by 44 blanket, just a yard and a yard, is also totally awesome. And it's a good size. And it's a good size for a little bit bigger kiddos who might want to throw it on the couch. You know, your elementary schoolish, or like I said, I mean, I've been known to use one that's this size and just really curl up under it. It's so soft. So I love it. But buying a full size, adult sized amount of Minky is pricey. So good morning. So we're almost done. This inside isn't super, you don't have to be super particular about it. Just try and keep it straight and even. And then I've come to the end of my, where I'm going to let it turn out. And like I said, you can't really backstitch with the walking foot, so you'll just have to, you could, I guess, move it, or you could just turn it. If you really want to backstitch, turn it and go back the other way, like so. And then turn and go back like this. But I'm not too, you guys have seen me, I'm not too wacky about, oh look, oops. Okay, then I'm going to take these pins out. And if you're bulk making, we'll grab our other, you don't have to have, okay, so you don't actually have to have very big of an opening to turn it out. Like, I mean, I think 6 inches, 8, 10 inches is probably plenty. With the Minky and the jersey, it's a little bit bulkier, so, you know, I think I did, let me measure it and tell you what I did so that you know. I did 10 inches. So this opening here is 10 inches, and that's more than plenty to turn it out. So really quick, I'm going to throw this one through. This one should be quicker than that other one. So remember, this is just our knit, not knit, this is our fleece and cotton. And I'm still using my walking foot because the fleece doesn't run quite as bad, but it runs a little bit. And this is a really soft cotton, so go a little bit. So I just wanted to show you the different fabrics. This is more of a lightweight, like receiving type blanket. This would be better, you know, for like swaddling type, with the cotton and the Minky wouldn't be great for that. almost through this one. This one's much quicker. Side and we'll be done. Oh, nope, I was kidding. That was the end. I thought there was one more side, but there wasn't. That one's much quicker and easier. Okay, so now got our pins out. The last step before you turn it out is to just the last step is to just cut the corners. And my favorite way to do the corners so that it turns out nice is actually 2 and 2. So I just trim off, let me see if I can do it so you guys can see, trim off like in a diagonal like that, and then do the same on the other side. So it takes out a lot of the, it's a little different than just cutting the corner exactly. Sorry guys, my nails are trashed. Cutting it exactly, it kind of takes off a lot of the fabric, but you don't cut, like traditionally, you know, you would just cut like that. But, good morning, Berna, I'm doing well. So I'm just going to cut the corners right like that. So that we have a nice so it turns out a little nicer. It's not as crucial on the Minky and Jersey one because the corners aren't going to ever be as crisp and turned out as this one. Okay, we've got those cut. Now I'm just going to pull everything out. And remember this one, the cotton, this is cotton and fleece, and it's not super thick or heavy. So this is not like, this is more of a lightweight baby blanket. I'm just pushing out the corners. This is our only chance to really get in there. And oh, Minky with satin, Jolene, that sounds terrible. Like something I would not want to do. I bet it turned out really adorable though. Those are two things you just think when you think baby blanket is Minky and satin, right? So cute. I've worked with the little satin bindings, and those are difficult as well, but they turn out adorable when you make those little baby blankets with the satin bindings. You could still do that with this, just add one of those satin bindings real quick. So now this is just similar to what we've done in projects before. So I'm just folding everything under, and I like to kind of give it a little pull. And that seems to really even things out. And then I'm just gonna pin these closed. This is my opening that we're closing up, if I didn't, to clarify. And we just, I want to be pretty particular about this, because this, I mean, we're gonna top stitch, but I really want the edge to be straight for my baby blanket. So I'm just making sure, like, line it up and make sure you've got a really straight line here, especially after it's pinned. And this would be a good time, especially if you're giving this as a gift. Now, this is a really good time before you pin, press this in place. Press it so that edge stays nice and flat. Okay, I'm just going to trim off the threads from the inside. And then one more, and this one's ready. We're gonna just top stitch over it. Let me get the other one ready to go. And I think we will press the edge in place on the cotton one for sure, because it'll just make it much nicer. Okay, so here's our Minky, and I'm just gonna, I had some places which I knew about that didn't line up perfectly. I'm just going to What pin? I don't think I have a pin on the inside. Okay. Yeah, make sure you don't sew any pins on. I'm just going to trim up. I had a little excess here. Oh. I'm going to just trim it up. Yeah, clips are good because then you won't accidentally make a mess. You won't accidentally poke the baby. I'm only trimming this because it was really uneven. You don't have to trim the seams or anything. They're just going to go on the inside. Okay. Where's my opening? Here it is. So, you can trim the corners to try and get a nicer edge. I don't know how. Did I leave one inside? So I'm just trimming up the corners on this. On the inside of the blanket. I just have these to close the opening up, I think is what. It wouldn't have turned out if there was still a pin on the inside. I don't feel any pins. Okay. So, let's find the opening. We've trimmed our corners. We're going to find the opening and turn everything out. All right. Again, just pushing the corners out. Like so. This one is so soft and snuggly. Okay. Got all my corners. So I'm just going to close this up again. Just making sure I'm pushing these out so that they're flat until I'm ready to stick this on the. I'm lining up my edge so that it's flat as well, and then I can pin these in place. Okay. I'm just pinning the edge in place, and then we're going to quickly take this all to the pressing board. Once we have it, this pin is really tiny. Let's see. Good morning. It's a perfect square, so it wouldn't have turned out if there was still a pin in it. It would have been crooked. So, yeah, there's no pins. There's no pins on the inside. Okay. All right. I am not feeling one. I've checked like 5 times now, so okay. Well, let's get to finishing then. So I'm just going to quickly take it over to the pinning board, and we will press really quickly to the pressing board. And I'm just going to quickly press all my edges so that, yes, we're moving on. Moving on now. Okay. So what I like to do here is, let me try and move so you can see a little better. I like to I kind of wiggle like this so that everything comes out, and then I'm going to just press that down. The black and white fabric is a jersey knit. And I uploaded a file that I already had onto Spoonflower and made my own. And I like it because you can pick your own, you can pick what fabric you do. So you could, do, you know, you could do that same fabric in the same print on different fabrics. So I'm just pressing these seams out because we're going to top stitch, so we want a nice flat straight edge to top stitch over. So I'm just wiggling. I just wiggle the seams like I showed you with my fingers to make sure everything's flat. And then I press it in place. And you can press, you'll want to press the opening that was open, the part that was open, the same way. So kind of take your pins out as you go and press it down. This is the time when you want to make sure that the edge is really nice and straight and flat. You're not going to get, once you top stitch, you're not going to be able to fix that edge and make it straight at all. And remember, you don't want to press your Minky because it's just, especially if it has those raised dots. I learned that the hard way a long time ago. I totally ruined my Minky. Not fun. Not happy about that. Okay. So for the Minky one, you would just roll, press, like, rub the seams. Well, I can't, what I was doing like that. Just wiggle the seams, and then you can pin it, the seams, or just do it as you're sewing. Like before you sew a side, just make sure the seam is, everything is out. One more. Yep, Minky's not nice if you iron it. But this cotton is very nice if you iron it. And the fleece is fine. I've got the fleece down, but it can be pressed. It's not a huge deal. All right, now we're ready to finish it up. Okay. So, last step, and then we'll be done. So, I'll show you this one first, since we just pressed it, and then we'll do the Minky one. The point of today, well, besides showing how to make the blanket, is that you can use pretty much any fabric that you want. So, this one is fleece and cotton. This is going to be a lighter receiving blanket type of blanket. This one is Minky and jersey, so a stretchy. This one's stretchy, but the blanket's not going to be stretchy. You guys, I must have cut myself. Must have poked myself and touched the blanket. Okay. Let's see. So you can use any fabric you want. So this is cotton and fleece. So I'm just going to leave the fleece side up, just because that happens to be where the pins are. still going to use my walking foot. So you can give it as much of a top stitch as you want, but for this, since we have this spot to close off, I'm going to do it fairly close to the edge so that I make sure and catch that. But you could do a double stitch, like do one real close to the edge and then do another one like 2 inches in, and it kind of makes it look like binding almost. But that's a preference. I'm using just a plain, this is just a like off-white thread. All the way around so that it has the same, yep, the bobbins match. It has the same look. But you can't really see, you can't even really see it on the fleece. It kind of blends in. Tanya. Good morning, Gina. We're just finishing up our first baby blanket, or snuggle blanket, I guess I'm calling it. Like, this is random thought, but I have my hand here. I'm not actually pushing. I'm just letting my hand go with the fabric. I like to, especially when you're using the walking foot, I just like to let the machine do all of it. I'm not actually pushing it. Just letting it there so that it stays even and where I want it. And same, I never come back here and pull on anything, or you know, I just kind of let the fabric, as long as it's staying where I want it to be, just let the fabric do its thing. The machine will take it like it's supposed to be, especially if you have the right tools, the walking foot. So my hand is really just to keep it straight, so it doesn't run. On this one, we've already done the work. We pressed it. There's not really much to do besides just make sure the seam is straight. So for the walking foot, we can't go backwards and forwards. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a couple stitches, and then I'm going to turn it around and go back on that same stitch. And one more time, I'm going to go back just to really, like, just 1 or 2 stitches back and forth to finish it off. Then we'll trim our threads. Maybe, there we go. Get them all. And then this one is all finished. And then we'll finish off the Mickey one. But I'll show you this finished one first. I just love, like, a baby blanket. It's so cute. So then you can see we've got our nice flat straight ends. I just just like them when they're folded. I think they're adorable. Aren't they precious? It's square, so as long as you keep everything straight, it's nice and square. It's inside. There we go. I'm ready to go. Just like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let me show you the Minky one really quickly. And then, so you can see how, since we can't really press it, how I'm going to handle the, how I handle the Minky since you can't press it. So, as I go along, I'm just going to do a few inches at a time, just kind of making sure, and this would be a good time for my clips, because now I'm outside. So I'm just going to wiggle it and make sure everything's where I want it to be, and then I'm going to clip it in place. Because these, it really likes to run and move, both of these fabrics. So I'm just going to clip it like that so that they kind of stay how I want them. I'm just going to do one side at a time, because it will, if I do all the sides, it will have moved by the time I get to the other ones, since we're running it through the machine. They're going to be about 35 inches finished. Yes, congratulations on your new grandbaby. That's so exciting. My mother-in-law was here this week with my little guys while I was out of town. She had a great time. Okay, so again, I'm still just using a plain, just off-white thread. And just, I'm putting the Minky down. I'm still using my walking foot, and I'm just lining everything up. I'm really just using my walking foot as my edge here. It's like crooked, it doesn't want to go. Okay. Well, look guys, look at this over here. What are you doing? Hey! Bailey, hey! I don't know what he's doing. He's watching for us. He's guarding while we finish sewing. He's looking out the window. Okay. So this one I'm definitely going to go much slower so that the feet have time to do their job and feed everything. Just keeping it straight as I go. This is not it's a jersey knit and then a Minky on the back side. So I used 4 different fabrics for the 2 blankets today. Once you get to the next side, you can just, here's the other option and how I probably would normally do it if it was just me, is just, I would, as I go, kind of wiggle, and then I would hold my hand here where I stopped wiggling. Wiggle is a technical term, by the way. In case you were wondering. Just making sure the seam is straight, and then I sew to where my hand is. And then I wiggle some more. I totally use flannel. Have I been saying fleece the whole time? Because this is totally flannel, you guys. I think I said the wrong word the entire time. This is flannel and cotton. I read that you were like, I use flannel. I'm like, wait, I'm using flannel. Did I not say I used flannel? This is flannel, not fleece. You could do it with fleece, but it would not be a light receiving blanket like I've been saying. It would be a heavy blanket. Oh, guys. Maybe on Friday I won't be so scatterbrained. Hi, Marianne. I'm glad to be back too. It was fun to go, and then, you know, you start to miss your kids. You're like, I never thought I would miss those wackadoodles. But I did. But, you know, it's kind of nice to be missed too. They're so excited for grandma, and then after a few days of grandma, they're like, wait, I want my mom. They miss my crazy, I think. My insanity. And my husband too. I missed you. Yes, I was using... But the same rule applies. You could totally use fleece. And it would be exactly the same as what we've just done. Nothing would change. Guys, I'm running out of thread. Oh, I ran out of my bobbin. Ah, are you kidding me, you guys? Ah, unbelievable. Look, I literally have this much left. Like, I made it to here. This is all I have to finish, and I have to thread everything, rethread everything. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish it, but you guys get the point. I'm not going to make you sit here and wait while I rethread everything for one little tiny minuscule piece. Okay, so here is this one finished. All right, it's got the fun jersey. I'll say the right words on it. It's got the fun jersey on the front or the back, whichever, and it's got the minky here on this side. It's nice and soft and pretty. So I will finish that top stitch in just a second. Make sure, okay, so share this so you can find it later. I'm going to put in the comments, I'll put the link for each. I'm going to put these both on Etsy. So if you want them, they will be on Etsy, but I don't know how long they'll last. So if you're interested, I will put the links up and then they'll be fair game. So here's our first one. This is flannel. Oh my gosh. This is flannel and cotton. Okay, this is a Art Gallery Fabrics. Sorry, I was reading a comment and the word came out of my mouth. This is Art Gallery Fabrics. It's a gray, really, really soft. Art Gallery Fabrics is so nice. Really, really soft gray fabric. And then flannel. I cannot. It just doesn't want to. And flannel. Pink one. So you can use any fabrics you want, just as long as you use the right tools. And for these, the flannel and the jersey and the minky, I definitely recommend a walking foot. And especially, even if you just do both cotton, because we're using such big pieces and we're not quilting it or doing anything to hold them together, they're going to want to run and move. So you've got to use the walking foot and lots of pins to hold everything in place. Because if you don't, you're just going to get frustrated and it's not going to stay straight and even. So the walking foot is my big, the takeaway from today is get a walking foot if you don't have one and use it for these little baby, I'm going to say baby a couple times, baby blankets for these little projects. So the walking foot is key and what I like for this one. I'm going to finish this in just a second, but this is super sweet. This one is a little bit thicker and warmer. It's got the jersey, which is really, has a nice feel to it. This cotton also has a nice feel to it. The minky, I really like minky blankets, but if you use minky on both sides, I just feel like it gets hot. I don't know about you guys, but it's hot. This jersey feels really nice on your skin. And it's like sheets. It's like really nice and comfortable. So make sure you follow me on Facebook. Turn on notifications for live videos. We'll be back again on Friday. Do you guys have anything you want to make on Friday? I promised we would do these baby blankets first, so that's why we've done these. If there's anything you're dying to learn how to make that you really want to give as gifts this year, please tell me in the comments and I'll see what I can do. And I think I'm probably going to be doing this. The things I make, I'm going to be putting on Etsy because I don't truly have anyone to give these to at this moment. So I'm going to put them on Etsy for you guys in case you want to give them as a gift and don't necessarily have time to make them yourself. So, share with me in the comments what you want to make. Turn on notifications. Share this video so that you can find it later. And I think that's it. Am I missing something? I feel like my brain is blah. If you want just a walkthrough, I've linked the tutorial that I have on the blog for this, a blanket. It was minky and flannel that's on the blog. So you can go over there and see it written out if you're interested, and if you're more of a not visual, if you're more of a reader, if you need to read the steps, it's over there on the blog. I linked it in the description of this video so you can find it. Okay, I think I'm good. I think we're done. Have a good day, guys, and I'll be back on Friday. I will read through your comments and we'll make something super fun. Everything is always super fun. That's my favorite thing to make, is fun things. Really just making things is fun. So, okay, we'll be back on Friday and we'll make something fun, and I'll see you then.